the top tips that come to mind in regards to a woman and her new baby and how best to bond with your new baby is really sort of giving yourself the time to figure things out. I remember in the early stages of having a newborn, I was in a hurry to apply all the things that I'd learned. So I'd watched blogs, listened to podcasts, read blogs, read all the books that I could possibly find in the library and bought. And I was thinking, yes, I have got so much information in my head. I can utilize this and I will use it. And while that was useful and it was helpful going forward, I think the key thing to remember is your baby is unique. Your baby is not going to be like anyone else's baby. And so, really trying to make sure that what you're doing is right for you and your baby, and giving yourself the time to figure it out. There's no hurry to do those things. I think that's quite important. I was in a rush. I was like, oh, I've got to apply all these things straight away, and then my baby will sleep through the night. And that never happened, if I'm honest, because some babies just don't sleep as well as others. I have two children. The first one didn't sleep very well at all. The second one is a better sleeper, and that's just the way things go. So really, I gave myself time after the first sort of few weeks of thinking these things aren't working. I just thought, okay, well, I need to maybe figure out what it is that my little boy wants from me. What is it that he needs? Does he need me to hold him while he naps in the day? And then even at nighttime, at times I would have to hold him. Yes, he does. That's fine. That's absolutely fine. There's no hurry to have to put the baby in the cot straight away. If you need obviously your time to rest, that's slightly different, but you should take the time to really bond with your baby because those moments don't come back. Spending that time with him in the early months, especially, and just sitting there feeding on my armchair. I was just sat there for hours and hours sometimes, and it was fine. I mean, it wasn't, I felt like I wasn't being very productive. I was looking around the house thinking, oh my gosh, my house is a complete mess. I can't even think about dinner. I was sometimes snacking on lots and lots of biscuits, but it was what it was. And I just went with it. And I think the moment I took the pressure off myself not to stick to a checklist or a to-do list or get so many things done in a day and try and focus on being productive, that really helped me just stay calm and be present in the moment, because before you know it, they'll be 3 months old, 6 months, a year, and now he's nearly three. And I'm thinking back to those moments and thinking those were really precious moments. And I'm glad we got that time to bond because those moments don't return. So that's one of the key things that I remember. I think the other thing is to be really confident in your decisions. Um, you get a lot of advice when you have a new baby. Do this, wrap them like this, don't do this. And I was hearing a lot of that. I was, oh, have you tried this? Oh, have you not? Maybe you should. And I remember thinking, I don't know if that will work for him. And there was a lot of self-doubt. And I remember questioning every single thing and sitting with my husband saying, should I have done that? I don't know if I should I have. And looking back on it now, I wish I'd been a bit more confident in my decisions. I knew my baby best. The mother always knows the baby best. In fact, doctors will always say to you, if you think something's wrong with your baby and you need to go to see the GP or go to A&E or wherever it may be, you know your baby best. So even if someone's telling you, oh, actually, no, I don't think it's that big of a deal, it's a mother's instinct. So I remember thinking I should be a little bit more confident in my decisions because all that self-doubt was making it harder to get through the day sometimes, because you question everything and then that adds to the anxiety. And being confident in your decisions in regards to a baby obviously doesn't come easily, again, because it's the first time that you've been a mum. How do you go about then applying that and being confident in it? Yeah, it's definitely going to work. Obviously not, it takes time. So really, again, going back to my first point, give yourself the time and then be confident. If you've made a decision, stick with it, roll with it. If it doesn't work, change it. There's no not having to go back. You can always change those decisions. um the third thing, which again I wish I'd done more of, is self-care. Look after yourself. I mean, mothers, you have so much to do. You've got to breastfeed, you've got to change the baby, you've got to bathe the baby. The list goes on and on. I'm not going to go through the whole list of what you have to do with a newborn and just a child in general. But self-care is important for a number of reasons. I think the key thing that comes to my mind just now, and I'm laughing as I say it, because my mother would always say, if you don't look after yourself, who's going to look after the baby? And it's true. If you don't look after yourself as a mother, as a new mum, and find time, and which is extremely difficult when you've got a new baby, because everything is around that baby and making sure, and they, there's no schedule to what they do. It's all over the place. But just taking 5 minutes in the day to read a couple of pages of your favorite book or have a shower. Or I'd say having a shower is sometimes a necessity rather than self-care. Having a nice cup of tea on your own in the kitchen in a separate room from the baby while someone else holds the baby. So all those little things will make such a monumental difference to your day, because you will feel like you've had a chance to breathe, step away from your baby, not feel like you've just spent the whole day in one room surrounded by nappies and bottles and whatever else might be in the room. Um, and that's important because it's good for your mental health, it's good for your physical health because you want to look after yourself, and also it will give you the energy to get through your day. The other key thing um, was asking for help. I think that came to mind. I did ask for help, I think, in the early days. There were times where I could not manage making dinner. Um, I couldn't get through the day without having a little nap because we'd had such a terrible night the night before. And so I needed someone to come and help. So having grandparents on hand was great. Having my husband around, obviously, was fantastic when he was able to have leave from work. Friends and family that can come around if they come over. Just give them the baby if you need a break and just say, I'm going to have a shower, or I need to go do this, or I need to quickly put the laundry on because we've run out of clothes. Whatever it might be, but just ask for that help, because sometimes I think in my head, I'd actually had the expectation that people would just come in and offer help straight away. People don't know, not necessarily what it is that you might need. So ask, say, actually, would you mind could you make me a cup of tea? Could you make me some toast? Could you please clean my kitchen? That'd be great. If anybody wanted to do that now, that would also be great. But those things obviously make a huge difference in how you can get through your day. And the last one, again, advice for myself as well as everyone else, and still is advice for myself, is to really breathe. Take a minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, go into the front garden, the back garden, get out of the house. Oh my gosh, that makes such a huge difference to my day. When I take the kids for a walk, um, I feel like a new person because just getting some fresh air makes such a big difference to how you can get through your day. It changes. You're getting out of the situation you're currently in and moving somewhere else. If the kids are having a tantrum in the morning, sometimes they take them out, and that works too. But especially with a newborn, I remember with my second, I was really keen to get out of the house early on because I didn't do so much with my first. And it did make a huge difference. I had him in the sling, I had the other one in his pushchair, and I would just walk to the park and they'd sit on the swings, and we sometimes it would last 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes. And that just gave me, it was a different, you're in a different environment, you're breathing some fresh air, look at the sky and the clouds and the whatever, hopefully lovely weather as we've been having now, whatever it might be. But the change of environment can make a huge difference to how you're feeling. And if you're especially feeling like, oh, I've spent all week in my pajamas, I've not left the house, I've not managed to do anything, just getting out of the house might give you the energy to then think, oh, actually, no, I can do something today. I might want to take the kids to the library or whatever it might be. So those are my five, I suppose, top tips, is really just giving yourself the time to breathe. And also, I think when it comes back to the issues that we will have to deal with when you have a newborn, like if they're not sleeping too well, actually going for a walk gives you a little bit more energy, and sort of you feel a little bit more revitalized by the end of that walk. Because if you're sleep deprived and the baby's not been sleeping well, sometimes being within the house, you just feel absolutely groggy throughout the whole day. So those key things, I think, will hopefully help make a difference.